Hello there, good morning. Good morning to every single person joining me live and those that will watch afterwards. Thank you so much for giving me a share of your time. My name is Oluwayomi and it's such a joy to be your host again in this edition of Knocks to Nuggets. So for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, we've been on health. We've talked about mental health. We've gone deep into depression. Then we looked at drug abuse. And one of the things that kept coming up throughout the discussion is the affordability of health, particularly in Nigeria, which is where we are based. Health is something world over. It's something everybody thinks about and you want the best of. But you want the best within the limits of, within the confines of the resources that you have. But is there a way to do it better? Are there opportunities out there for us to explore to have proper, adequate, efficient healthcare? Joining me in this conversation today, and I'm so excited to have him, as a man of almost 25 years of experience in banking and financial services. Now you're saying, okay, health insurance, this is a banker. Let's go on. Prior to joining the current company he is in, he was based in South Africa and was executive in charge of business transformation for Standard Bank's personal and business banking business in Africa. Before this, he had led businesses in retail banking, pensions, asset management in Nigeria. He served as CEO of Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers and executive director of Stanbic IBTC Bank. He is a highly effective transformational leader with demonstrated capacity to drive innovation in payments, distribution, and technology. My guest holds a bachelor's degree in actuarial science from University of Lagos and an MBA from the prestigious Imperial College London. Is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Management Association, is Chartered Institute of Accountants of Nigeria, and Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria too, and of course, the Chartered Institute of Brokers of Nigeria. So my guest is currently the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of IGEA HMO Limited, the leading private health insurer in Nigeria, from where he has led a technology-driven transformation of Nigeria's health insurance industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me today to welcome to the Knox to Nugget stage, Obinnia Abajue. Hey, good
Hi,
morning.
good morning.
It's so good to have you today. Thank you,
Same
thank
here.
you, thank you. I don't take it for granted. Allowing me invade your space. So, health insurance in Nigeria. I know when this came to my mind, I was like, health insurance. I've heard of several. I've heard of the NHIS. I've heard of, can you just in a nutshell, what is about health insurance in Nigeria? Is there anything like that? Is it working? Now you're laughing, but it's true. Is there anything like that? I want to know. If there
Oh,
is it working? Is it something I should explore? The floor is yours.
okay. No, thank you very much, Yomi. Really appreciate the time and the privilege, and thank you, people that are listening, um, and watching. If you're watching it, I'm grateful for the privilege and the opportunity to be here with you. So, to your question straight away, what is health insurance, and is it in Nigeria? Is it even working? So, yes, health insurance, in very lay terms, is really an arrangement that allows you to not have to worry about payment when you go to hospital.
Okay.
So normally when you go to hospital, the hospital is asking you for a deposit. They are checking you, can
Mm-hmm,
you pay the bill after they
mm-hmm,
have treated you?
mm-hmm,
All
mm-hmm.
right. You are checking, okay, what are they going to treat me for or charge me? Can I afford to pay that bill? So that experience affects the quality of care that people get per time. And what health insurance does is to remove that consideration at that point. It's not
Okay.
that it's not that the money doesn't matter, but it's that it should not matter at the time when care is needed. It's
Mm.
not when somebody is rushed into a hospital that the person are asking, "Do you have money? Do you have this? Do you have that?" The human brain survives without oxygen for 4 minutes only. So in 4 minutes, all right, who wants to know whether you have money, or what you're paying, and all of those things? So money should not matter at the point in time when care is required, and that is the problem that health insurance is trying to solve.
Wow.
So, what is health insurance? Health insurance is an arrangement that pools the resources of many different people, and these resources are tagged premium. So, people are contributing into the pot, all right, so that if anybody that is in that pool wants to that now has need for care, the person can draw out of the pool, all right, to be able to access care. It is actually very similar in thinking to the way cooperatives are organized, the way adjust systems work, all those kinds of arrangements. It's a similar thinking. The only difference is that the premiums that are paid in can only be drawn down when people have a need for care, not when they feel like they want to go to hospital, but when they
Mm,
actually have a need for care.
mm.
And it's
Wow.
here. We have it. It's working, but it's just that not enough people know about it. So the pools are really small. So the amount that they can deal are not as much yet, but it's growing. And as people realize that they really cannot cope right with paying these bills by themselves, then they need help. And this is the kind of help that we can do. And it's something that we can do together as people.
Hmm. I hear you. I thank you so much for letting us know what insurance is and the fact that it is here in Nigeria. And one thing you said that's critical, and if people have highlighted it, is that money should not matter at the point care is urgently required, and that's so true. But now, the question is this, and now it's insurance, like you clearly said. So I'm paying. I sign up for health insurance. I pay, and throughout
Mm.
the year, I'm healthy, I'm hale and hearty. I feel I've wasted money, or don't you think so?
Ah. That's why you should. So first of all, I hear many people say that, and people actually feel like that, which leads them to do things that they should not actually do. But if you think about it, all right, the only if you look at the amount that people are paying as premium in relation to the cost of care, you can
Mm.
see that the only reason why anybody was able to access it was because someone did not access it.
Mm.
So people had to abstain for others to be able to
Mm.
obtain. All right.
Mm.
Now, when you think about it from that perspective, you realize that every time you do not use your own, you should be grateful. Because imagine if you, all right, that was complaining that you are ill, was the one that actually had to go to hospital and the pool was not big enough to help you.
Hmm.
Then you will have a problem. So all of us are literally being our brother's keeper. All right. And the more people that participate, the smaller the amounts we have to contribute and the
Mm.
more we can achieve. But the fewer people participating mean that they have to contribute more money, all right, to be able to do even whatever little is possible to do. I mean, I challenge people to think about it. If there are 100 people that are contributing to a pot, all right, and they each contribute 10,000 naira, all right, all they have is what? 100,000 naira.
100,000.
All right. Actually, no, it's a million naira they have. 100 by 10,000 is a million naira that
Yes,
they
a
have.
million naira. Yeah.
But somebody requires a surgery. One of the 100, just one person requires a surgery that the bill is 2 million naira. The entire group cannot help the person.
Mm. Mm.
Their pot is only 1 million. All right. So what you will see is that what insurance does is to put money together. So if people had a need, they can actually get a use of it. But if you now had, instead of 1,000 people contributing 100 naira, you now have 10,000 people contributing 100 naira. Is now 10 million naira that they have. All right. And from that perspective, that person with a 2 million naira surgery can be helped by the pot. I'm just trying to keep it really simple. All
Yes,
right.
but somebody is
Now,
saying something to you here. It says, "Is that not robbing Peter to pay Paul?"
no, both Paul and Peter are alive. All right. They are alive and well. Because health is not something that you say that, oh, I will never have to use it. It's not true. Everybody has two health events in their lives, minimum. Every single person, all right? When you were born was a health event, all right? That's why you have survival issues and child mortality, infant mortality, all right? When you die is a health event, all right? That's why the
Mm.
body ends up in the morgue. So even if you are well your whole life, you will have at least two health events. So imagine if at the point of birth, all right, nobody could care for you. You would die at birth now with your mother. So there must be something there. All right. If at the point of death, no one can help you, right? Even in good health, nobody will handle the body well. It will be messed up.
Mm.
So when
Mm.
you think about it, there must be a system. So everybody gets a benefit from the health system at some point in time. So Peter was not robbed. to pay Paul. All right. Peter and Paul both got a share of the loot.
But somebody then is saying, is there a way the health insurance company reward healthy living?
I think yes, there can be a way, and we've seen it happen in other climates. But to be honest, it's really a sophisticated level of conversation. All right. Now you go from a place where, and Maslow's hierarchy of needs is really true. All right. When you think about it, how at the beginning, right, people are putting something into a pot and they're making progress. All right. The next thing that happens after that is to say, well, people can now be rewarded for not doing for doing things that actually keep them better. Right? We can combine it, but we're coming up from a very low place where we have a very low level of participation, which makes it very expensive to actually provide that kind of benefit. But it's certainly something that's work in progress. Today, most HMOs or health insurance companies actually have arrangements with gyms and spas and those kinds of things. But even those services are still for the high-end people. All right. So the things that people need to reward them for healthy living, it's coming, Shao. Don't get me wrong, it's coming, and there are things that we are working on. But the most important priority is to grow the understanding of people participating in it. Should I answer some of these
Wow,
questions I'm
grow the
seeing here?
understanding. Yes, some of them are just comments actually. Some of them are re-emphasizing the things you have said. But
Yes.
while you're talking, I'm asking myself, disposable income is on the decline. Now, I'm asking, even for vehicle insurance that is mandatory, you see a good number going ahead to do third party, which is like the barest minimum. That if there's an accident, take care of the third party, leave me out of it. I believe God, I will not have accident. So they are praying, they are trusting God, they won't have accident, so they will do third party. My thought is this. Now, that is a mandatory thing. Health insurance is not mandatory. When income, uh, 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 available income is declining by reason of inflation, the first thing people should cut off is insurance. If I'm healthy, I eat well, I exercise, I'm fit, I can save that money. You're shaking your head and saying a no.
No. So, who is it that builds a house without first counting the cost?
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So your income is declining. All right. If you were told that, knowing that something could happen, all right, that if that thing happened, what it would take out of your share of income is so much more than what you can afford, and you have no control over that thing happening, right? Would you not pay to avoid that risk? Some people think that they are being smart and calculated, but the reality is that they are not. Look, insurance is something that was created to enable man to be able to manage risks that are out of his control. All right. So the moment your income is under stress, what you want to do actually is to eliminate risks that are out of your control. You say you are eating well, all right. Do you have control over if you get food poisoning? Do you have control over if your child puts something or runs over a stick or whatever? Do you have control over those things? You don't. But if any of those little things happen, you could have a major health event, which is a major cash outflow. In fact, one of the leading causes, all right, for small businesses defaulting in their loans is health events for the owners and their families. Because at that point, they have to put their hand in the till. Where else do they get money for? They say the business was made for us. All right. If we're not alive, there's no business. Then they put their hand in the till. All of a sudden, they cannot pay their loans again. One of the leading causes of default. So you find that, or at the end of the day, when you are pressed for cash, all right, if you think about it logically, not instinctively, your first reaction is to say, let me lock away any risks I cannot control. All right. So I want to pay my health insurance premium. I want to be sure that if anything happens, so anyone can go to hospital without having to try to manage. And it is this absence of a plan or a structure that ends up with people going to some traditional healer, drinking agbo, whatever. The number of kidney cases that we have in Nigeria is nonsensical. It has no bearing to our structure. It has no bearing to our diet. It has no bearing. It is people drinking things that they don't know anything about. Unnecessary. Because of our diet, we're exposed to diabetes. Because it's high starch, high sugar, all of those things, all right? But many people don't even know when they begin to have the symptoms. Say they are village people doing them. But all that happened was that that these things could have been found early if they had regular access to a hospital. And that's the stuff where hospital attendants or just access to a doctor, a proper medical personnel, all right, should not be something that is reserved for when you have saved up and you have to call everybody to donate and all. It's not necessary. Things can be found early to prevent problems. Right? And thank God for technology where we have things like telemedicine and all of those things that now help us, all right, to be able to improve access to just general consultation issues. Right? Many people are lying down in the hospital waiting for who will pay their bill. Many people are going around begging for who's going to help them, all right? But all of those things could have been prevented if early on they had bought a health insurance plan.
Wow, so true. Like somebody rightly said here, I said the funny thing is that some people who may never like or get insurance will contribute to somebody seeking funds for health issue on GoFundMe. It's so true.
Can you imagine?
Very, very true. It's very true. Now, I want us to take this question on the screen. How does one benefit from the health insurance? And what are the issues involved with non-corporate individuals?
Okay, I think historically, let me start from the second part of the question. Historically, people health insurance only covered corporates historically because they wanted to be assured that people will pay their premium regularly. One, two was that because if you are overseas and you want to buy a plan, they will first do a health check of you to be sure you're not sick. All right, but even that costs money. But there they pay a lot to justify their admin costs. Here, what we do is to say, come as you are. All right, just buy a plan. We'll take our chances. But it's only for a group of people. So immediately, a large number of people are subscribing. That's why the focus was on corporates. But today, we know that the bulk of Nigerians are not in corporates.
True.
Yeah, so you cannot focus on a small market portion of the market and think you're trying to solve for everyone. So now insurance covers everybody. All right. So you can, for example, at HiJHMO, if you just go to our site, you said there's plan for individuals, seniors, all right, corporate, SME. So whatever group, amount, size, number you are, there's a plan for you. There will be variations in pricing because of the risk of the number of people that can come in at a time, but still there's a plan for you. Now, so accessing or benefiting from health insurance really is about buying the plan. Please understand what you bought. Right? Because we've also seen people going around telling people that, oh, the limits are unlimited. When you hear unlimited, just run away. All right? There's no such thing. That's how MMM and Co came. All right? They said no, that we will triple your money overnight. And you to say, hey, that they have come now. They are the people. All right? A few people might get what seems like benefits, but in the end, most people are left carrying the can. Or it's a scam. All right? And somebody said to me, oh no, they're reputable. And I asked the question. They say they will give you unlimited benefits. My question to you, is your premium unlimited? What makes you think that you will give nothing to get more? That's a scam by any definition. And I said, let me ask you a question. I asked the person, I said, look, tell me that if these people, all right, if you had a need that was more than their share capital, they will go and borrow money to come and pay for you. Do you think that will happen? The person said no. I said, so it means that they are at least limited by their share capital. So they are limited. There is nothing called unlimited. So please beware of scams. All right? Every naira has a value. Even if you are the only person in the pool. The pool has a size. And that size becomes your limit. If there are two of you in the pool and two of you access care at the same time, two of you need to share what is inside there now. Or where would the excess come from? So it has a limit. So please ask, what is my limit? If not, they will take your money and run away. So people just need to kind of shine their eyes small All right. So you access health insurance, you pay your premium, you understand what your benefits are, you know which hospitals you can go to, all right, and what you need to do if there's a problem at the hospital. At the end of the day, it's a process. You need to understand the process. But I beg you, do not go and take someone that is covered. You know, people say, "Oh, my friend, come, I have insurance, come, they will use my own." It's not true. That's fraud. All right.
Mm,
Don't go there if you don't have a need because the doctor is your friend. You say, I never chop. So okay, let me come so you can bill them. That's a fraud. All right.
mm,
Don't find insurance fraud is a crime in Nigeria and everywhere in the world. All right. It's not sorry, allow. No, it's a crime. You will go to prison. Right? So it's important to really understand how these things actually work, all right, so that you can actually get the most of it. But you will enjoy it when you have a need and you go into the hospital and they attend to you and you can just go away knowing that actually my premium works for me, even though
mm,
that's not what we're praying for. But if it
mm.
happens, at least you get the benefit.
Yeah, if it happens, but somebody says it's an Herculean task assessing healthcare under NHIS, as there is a disparity in treatment. And I've heard that even beyond NHIS, even some HMOs, I hear some people don't pay us. So if you go to this hospital, that HMO, they don't pay you, just give that person Panadol, let the person go. And then those with money take priority, and HMO at times take preference over NHIS. That it's tough. So I want the best. I don't have so much money. How do I go about it?
Well, okay, so look, I think that some of these things reflect the fact that we don't have enough regulation around health insurance. You've said, for example, it's not compulsory. How can protecting our lives and health, all right, be less important than protecting a car? So car insurance is compulsory, but health insurance is not compulsory. How does that even make sense? Right? How can protecting a future you have not arrived at be more important than protecting your health present to take you to that future? And yet pension contribution is compulsory, but health insurance is not compulsory. I mean, how does that even begin to make sense? But it just tells you that we are a young people, all right. When people are young, their lack of maturity is what causes them to overlook some things. They take
Mm,
for granted their strengths, all right. They take for granted that they are strong and that every day they're in the prime of their life. Sadly, when they get to the twilight of their years, when they need help, they cannot be helped. They are begging. And they are begging because they did not put something in place when they were strong to take care of them when they are older. Who do they expect to do it? And that's the issue that we are facing here. So yes, the absence of regulation or the weakness of our regulation makes it challenging, right? But the principle behind it was very sound. So now the
okay.
reason why NHIS seems to be at the bottom of the pool is because over time they have not revised their premiums that they pay and all that. So the hospitals feel as if A, I can just take the money without rendering the service because there's no control. B, the rates that they pay me is too small because the premise was that there will be a large book of people coming in, but they never actually expanded it. So the amount in the pool is very small. So their commitment towards the hospitals is very small. So hospitals just take that and say, I'll just use to shock myself, but really, what can I do with it? So there's that. The hospitals are at fault in all of these examples I'm telling you. All right. But there's that principle there where it was small. Then you have the HMOs that come next, where they take precedence over NHIS because the private hospitals will deal with the HMO because they have leverage over them. They can have a relationship. Versus the government hospitals that are everybody is something is nobody's anything. So that's where most of the NHIS clients have to go to. When they go to private hospitals, those ones will pay them reasonable money, so they don't want to deal with that. So they pay attention to HMOs instead. But even with that, because HMOs actually is a credit scheme, all right, the hospitals are not paid at once because the thing has to be checked and validated afterwards. It's actually a credit arrangement that is sitting behind it. People that are coming with cash are then treated as fast-moving consumer goods that need to be engaged immediately. Because if you don't attend to the guy and now the guy leaves, the money has gone with the person. So once they see money, they abandon everybody because every other person is a contract. So you can
Mm,
imagine that you have three people in a hospital. One person came from NHIS, another person came from from an HMO, and the other guy drove in a Mercedes Benz SL 500, all right, dripping of cash as he walks in. Who do you think will get attention first?
cash is king.
It's because if they don't attend to the guy will carry his cash and go away.
Yeah.
all right, then they've lost that money, all right, and they can bill him anything. In fact, there are two hospitals in Lagos that are reputed that the chief billing officer is the security man. He's the chief billing officer.
I had
When
to
you
adjust
come
myself.
in, they assess the car you came in, how you arrived, then they inform them inside how they should bill you.
Wow.
You're in shock, you're
I'm in shock. I'm trying to wake up from that.
so there are all kinds of things going on. All right. But if you go to the more developed societies, nobody cares how much is in your pocket. The human body is the human body. You show up, you wait your turn, you access care. All right. Some countries have what they call a premium route. You will pay through your nose. And once you go there, the government comes after you. That obviously you have more money. Come and give us some too. Let's share with you as well. All right. But so it's about trying to create something for the vast majority of our people. Right. Health insurance is not about giving people luxury and all that. It's about taking care of most people. And we say that our mission, for example, at NHIS is to provide affordable access to quality health care. Right. But that's only available when you get as many people as possible into the pool to be able to participate.
Wow. This next question, you have answered it in part, but I will still throw it back at you. What's the difference between HMO and NHIS?
So the HMO is the operator. All right. It means Health Maintenance Organization is the operator. That's ultimately the health insurer. All right. NHIS is the National Health Insurance Scheme. It is like the regulator, all right, and the program. So what you have is that NHIS is the direct insurer for federal government staff. All right. So they're the regulators, but they're the direct insurer for federal government staff. What they do is that they take the premium and they give it to HMOs to go and administer for them. All right. Now, the HMOs then actually deal with corporates and private individuals directly. All right. Now, states are trying to make up their mind about how their process is going to work. All right. But ultimately, they will adopt either a direct engagement with HMOs or some kind of scheme that behaves a little like NHIS.
Okay. That's enlightening for me. There's a question that's always been on my mind. When I was talking to somebody I just met, and I said, "Oh, I'm having Obinnia on the call this Monday." I says, why wouldn't they be giving us insurance at 3,000 naira per person? I can access all of this. Why must we pay so much? Now, my question is this: what's the minimum the average person can come in and be able to access good health care? Like rightly said, it's unpredictable. So my disposable income is so small, but God forbid, I forbid, the person that has a kidney issue, then you hear your health insurance does not cover this. I've been doing it all this while. I didn't pray or plan or prepare for it. Then you're saying my insurance does not cover this. What's the minimum we can go into? What would be your advice?
Okay, so I think that this is one of those things I tell people, that can we be honest with each other? All right, because many times, and sadly, what you find is that people make promises that are not real. All right, so it's important that we are very honest with each other. If you pay 3,000 naira, you will get something, but you cannot get everything. Imagine, what can your 3,000 naira buy? All right. So you have to think about what you are contributing in relation to the size of the whole pool. I gave the example of a 100 naira 10,000 naira contribution over 100 people versus 1,000 people. All right. So you have to think about those kinds of numbers. So the more people in the pool, the more you can get for smaller contributions. But the fewer people in the pool, the less you can get for smaller contributions. Today in Nigeria, there are very few people in the pool. We have less than, altogether, the whole market, less than 10 million people covered. Out of a country of almost, yes. Because if you ask and you take a poll, all right, on this show today, all right, I bet you that more than 60% of your listeners don't have health insurance.
Sure.
And yet the demography listening to you are enlightened. So how much more the bulk of the people who are not enlightened? And don't be surprised, we're young people, all right. If you do our age pyramid and groupings, you will find that the elderly are less than 5% of our population. They're less than 5% of our population. So the bulk of our people are young people, teens and children that other people are making decisions for them. So their coverage is dependent on who is making the decision. So it's like, you know how they say that invest in a woman, you're investing in a society. All right. So the health insurance that people, that decision they make not just on behalf of themselves as individuals, but on behalf of groups of people. Right? Because they have control and influence over those groups of people. So it's not a small thing that and this thing is an issue. So back to your question about what is the minimum contribution. In truth, what is the issue? What is the minimum you want to get? So for example, all right, if somebody comes and says, oh, all I have is 1,000 naira, well, the person, is it 1,000 naira per month or is it 1,000 naira for the whole year? If you say 1,000 naira for the whole year, we say, okay, come, enter into this pool. In this pool, if the thing is, if unless you break your neck and you're about to die, then we'll treat you. That's what you'll be covered for. All right? Because it's called last pool. All right? That's the only pool you can participate in. If you say I have 1,000 naira per month, they'll say enter this other pool. In this pool, all right, if you have the following things, you can be attended to. All right, go to the hospital and they'll be to be there. Know your limit from the beginning. Don't wait and say, oh, I've been paying all this while. Oh, help me now. No, there's no need. Why do you want to do that? From the beginning, you know the plan. There are some people that say, I want health insurance. Then they'll pay for this month. The next one say, oh, something happened. They didn't pay. Then the next one say, I'm going to hospital. Can I pay now? How can you pay when you want to go to hospital? It's no longer insurance. It's a discount you're looking for. So tell me, who cannot do the math? I go to hospital, doctor gives me a bill for 20K. You say I should go and buy health insurance for 5K. Which one should I pay for? It's health insurance now. But you're not insurable at that point, so it's not available as an option. Insurance is purchased when you don't have any need for it. So that when you have a need, you can draw on it. If you have a need, you are not insurable. Because what you get as a reduction of the price when you need it is called a discount. It's not called insurance.
Wow. That's very key. When you have a need, you're no longer insurable. You're looking for a discount. Wow.
Yep. Because insurance, the only reason why a pool of people can put something together so that if somebody needs it tomorrow, the person can draw on it, is that they are working on the probability, the likelihood that only a few people will need it. That's why the amount they are contributing is small. The moment somebody needs it, the likelihood is 100% because somebody already needs it. So it's no longer insurance. It's no longer insurance. All right. So if people need to understand this thing, all right, buy it when you are well. In fact, when you are well and you buy insurance, you can pay that's when you can maximize your cost savings because there is nothing wrong with you. The chances of you going to hospital is almost zero. All right. So at that point, you can maximize your contribution. The moment you cross 40, all right, your insurance bill will be climbing. Nothing, there's nothing you can do about it because everybody knows minimum there must be something to be checked. It's the nature of the human body. So the best people to buy insurance is when they are young people. Those guys, if they started buying insurance when they were young, there's almost nothing they will not be covered for when they're older.
So are you saying, let me pick you on that sentence. Is it then looking cumulative?
So over time, as the book grows, even though you write the contract year on year, but as the book grows, the pool gets bigger, and the person that stays in the pool longest, all right, actually gets advantage. So for example, we have clients that have been with us for years, all right. Those clients, they might have an event, all right, and something really bad happened, and they say to us, guys, we need help. We say to them, no problem, we'll carry you. Is it not just this time? All right. But if you just came for the first time, we just met you, but so I need help. Guy, this is what you paid for. This is your contract. You cannot reap where you did not sow.
Wow. You've answered this in several ways, Why do HMOs have different premiums and limits for even the same type of service given? Now, this is actually a bit different. So I have
Yes.
HMO 1, 2, 3, and IGA, and they're giving all the same service, but the premium is like that. So I want to be looking for the cheapest one with the lowest premium.
Well, so it's important to understand the variations in limits and care. When you say the same type of service to be given, it means that you know what the service is. All right, that isn't true really, but it's important to understand the things that drive an HMO's premium, the size of the HMO's book. So a bigger
Mm.
HMO, all right, will be can be cheaper than a smaller HMO. Right now, their target segments are also very important. People that are targeting the high-end clients, all right, oftentimes are more expensive than people targeting the mid or low end. Not because they are actually offering something better, but because it's called the Regal Shivers effect, all right,
Mm.
where things are perceived to be more valuable because they are more expensive, not because actually the intrinsic value is more. So there's a segment of the market where only a high price will attract them. It's not about what's
True.
inside it. All
True.
right. So you have a bit of that. So you need to separate all of those things going on. All right. But
Mm.
fundamentally, a bigger HMO with a bigger book, all right, can actually write a cheaper plan than a smaller HMO with a smaller book. I already explained the mathematics to you before.
Yeah.
The other thing also is that the reason why that happens is the pricing advantage that the bigger HMO has with the hospital may be more than the smaller HMO. All right. Then the other challenge that you're going to have to face as well is that the margin that the HMO is trying to make as a profit from based on their expense ratio, because the fixed costs are fixed costs. The smaller
True.
you are, the more the fixed cost on your margins. The larger you are, the less the fixed cost on your margins. So all those things create variations in terms of what becomes an ultimate price.
Wow. All of those actually affect it. I want us to talk idea now for the next few minutes where we've taken so much of your time. I again will appreciate you. But let's talk about IGEA. IGEA says they are the leading private health insurer in Nigeria. And I'm going to ask you very clearly, why would I want IGEA?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. That's like when somebody gives me a 2 foot pot. If you play golf, just tap it in the hole. All right. The I just like the things that matter from our perspective is, first of all, our mission is to help you provide affordable access to quality care. These words are music to your ears. All right. So what you're getting from us is affordable. It's not cheap. It's affordable. So we allow you to be able to actually pay for what it is you can pay for. Now, the things that make us special really are around, one, the transparency of what we offer. There's no fine print. All right. Everything is on the table for you to see. Where there's a limit, we tell you there's a limit. All right. If something looks like, oh, you can use it all the time, we tell you. All right. So it's all transparent. That's number one. Number two is that we have the largest network size in Nigeria. Right. We have close to 2,000 private hospitals on our network to provide access to care across the country. No other person has this size of network. So literally anywhere you are in Nigeria, you can get access. You can find a hospital that is related to Hygeia, all right, somewhere across the country. Now, aligned with that is what we call a roaming service, which means that you can buy your plan in Lagos, but tomorrow you boarded a flight and you found yourself in, say, Makodi, all right, and there you needed to go to hospital. Just find a hospital on the network. On our app, you can check which hospital is near me. You see any hospital there that are accessible to you. Go into hospital. Same process, same thing. You don't need to do anything special anywhere. Just go ahead. That roaming service is very important and people really value it. All right. The third thing is our flexibility. I told you we provide a service for everybody. If you are one person, you can get a plan. If you are a family of four, you can get a plan. All right. If you're a large family or a small SME, you can get a plan. All right. If you're a large company, you can get a plan. If you are older, we were the first HMO to write a plan. I say first because I think some people have now copied us, but we're the first HMO to write a plan for seniors. All right. And we write plans for people all the way to 85. So what before was unheard of in Nigeria is possible with Hygeia. All right. That is the flexibility that we bring to the conversation. Now we're doing all of these things because we're trying to meet that goal of affordable access to quality healthcare. Because we're able to bring all of these together, all right, we're able to provide a service and option for people.
Hmm. But someone just said, I just checked the IDEA basic plan for individuals and I noticed maternity
Mhm.
service is exempted and the hospital category is
Correct.
C to D. Why exempt maternity
Be-
service from basic plan?
okay, thank you. Fantastic question. All right, because I can now share many more things I told you about. So first of all, the basic plan is for one person.
Okay.
All right, or a single individual. If you and that plan costs about 39,000 naira.
For a year.
That plan does not, yes, it accepts you as you are. It does not rule out your pre-existing conditions. So as you are, you come in. If we allowed maternity service on the plan, who will buy that plan
Women.
at month 9, Abi, or month 8?
Oh,
And then they
true.
will go to the hospital. Your normal delivery, all right, if you're fortunate, it will cost you anything from 50K to whatever, depending on the hospital you go to. Imagine if she needs a CS, all right, the costs all add up. How much did she pay? 39,000. Where would the difference come from?
Mm.
So we
Mm.
know that, or we can see it from our data. All right. So instead of saying that nobody will get a benefit because somebody might do the wrong thing, we just remove maternity service. There are so many other people that don't need maternity, and we can deal maternity separately. All right, in plans that are sufficiently priced for it. So that's why we take it out.
But somebody said, we are talking, okay, so I'm a young girl, I'm just 20, and I buy IGEA. So it's not at the time I got pregnant or even got married that I bought the plan. So when I get pregnant, can I not say I've been on this plan for so many years, I've not done anything? Yeah, take my maternity bill.
No problem. If you want a plan that will cover you when you are pregnant, just ask for one, and we'll tell you that.
I love that. If you have a plan, if you want to have a plan that covers you when you are pregnant, just ask for that plan and they will tell you. Coming to talk about, let me take you back to one of the questions on effectiveness of our system. I just want to go back and I hope I can get the exact question now. And someone says, yes, that's it. What's your current assessment of our NHIS as it is running now? And how can we make it work better? So we're wearing you the cap of the minister now and saying, look at the system, you've been there. What can you say about it?
Well, look, there are many things that we can do better, but first we should understand that having a system already is progress. All right. So we have our NHIS today. All right. It's important that people understand it and they then come into health insurance. Now, I want to separate NHIS, the regulator, from NHIS as a principle, a system overarching, say Nigeria's health insurance system or health insurance scheme. All right. Now, the NHIS scheme largely is for federal public servants. They're the ones that actually use it. All right. Now they have a plan that they provide for private individuals. You can come on a voluntary basis, but let's not talk about that one for now. Well, but the bulk of their market is the federal public servants. So that those ones, that things can be improved for them by NHIS reviewing the premiums that they are paying, reviewing the tariffs, the benefits that they offer. That's a process that should happen from time to time. All right. And that's how you get the best out of any insurance system. The main challenge that they've had is that they have not reviewed for a long time. All right. Now,
Mm.
in your private health insurance arrangements, we review our plans every year because think about it, inflation happens. All right. Then devaluation happens. And the bulk of our things are imported. All right. So the cost of everything goes up. Then doctors and medical personnel leave the country. So the supply of people reduces. All right. So what is happening? How do you balance demand and supply? Or you think it's only you that wants to drive G Wagon? All right. The doctor wants to drive G Wagon too now. In fact, I told somebody before that imagine what happens when you come with that your Mercedes Benz SLK, whatever, gleaming, dripping with cash, and then you see this doctor, raggedy guy, all right, that you don't know if the guy walked from mile 2 to Lagos Island, all right, to come to work. You don't know, all right, and then you want that guy to come and treat you. Are you really okay? Have you not heard that when the priest is hungry, all the oracle sees is death?
When the priest
That
is
guy,
hungry, all the oracle sees is death. That's interesting.
that guy can do anything to you to make money. All he sees is an ATM.
Mm.
All right. So we must really be very careful. All right. So we need to be able to ensure that our doctors are well paid, our hospitals are well resourced, the personnel they are well taken care of. Right. So that they have no incentive to do bad things to us out of envy.
Mm.
Right. Now the consequence is that health insurance plans and pools need to be big so they can pay the hospitals well without us having to pay too much money ourselves. Remember, it's like a funnel. Many of us contribute, all right, so that more of us, when we have an experience, can draw on it. But that filter that's happening ensures that the hospitals do not struggle to make money, and the medical personnel can be rewarded. Our personnel are leaving the country for one reason and one reason only: money. That's all.
True. True.
Money. All right. If we could get them paid here, they will go nowhere. And they are
Mm.
smarter than the people that are going to go and help.
Mm. True. True.
So how do
True.
we do that without us also breaking our own backs? It's health insurance.
Mm. Mm. Very true. So somebody is asking, do you start your cover immediately you sign up? So I sign up today.
If you're an individual, you have 2 weeks waiting period.
Okay.
All right. And the reason why we have 2 weeks waiting period, all right, is because you want to make sure that somebody is not coming that is sick. You know that there's no art to find the mind's construction on the face. All right. That someone says I'm well does not mean that the person is well. All right.
Mm.
So the person may not even know what's wrong with the person. But if somebody is coming in immediately, and let's use the basic plan, paying 39,000 and then going and lie down for surgery of 100,000, where would the gap come from? So not only do we remove things that people have an incentive to purchase, to consume immediately, but we ensure that anybody is coming in, we don't just take your word for it. We give you a 2-week cooling period, all right, before you can actually start accessing care. And
Wow.
it's transparent. It's upfront. It's
Mm.
upfront. So if you don't want, don't buy. All right. And in fact, we give you a chance to get a refund immediately if you think you made a mistake. So if you buy your plan today, all right, you have, I think it's 28 days or something like that, that if you say, actually, I changed my mind, I think it was a wrong decision, just let us know, we'll refund your money to you.
Wow. Wow. But somebody is saying, all of this pool of funds, what are the
Hmm.
HMOs doing with it?
At least for Hygia, I don't know about that. Let me tell you what Hygia is doing. We are paying hospitals. All right. On the 26th of every month without fail, we pay all the hospitals across the country. All. They use that money, they pay salaries. Yes, sometimes we quarrel with them to say, look, you claim for something you did not do. All right. This thing, we're not paying you because it never happened. Or you try to pad it with something. We've seen you are taking away the pad. This is how much the thing is. But we pay them. Every 26th of the month, we pay them.
Mm. Somebody says, does HMO have a plan to grow the pool of funds through other forms of investments?
We try to, but you know what I tell everybody when they come, all right, and say, oh, invest in this, invest. I say, look, our primary investment is people's care. All right. So we make sure our money is accessible to pay for care. If I go and put money on deposit or land or whatever, and people now need care, hospital now needs to be paid, and we say, hey, hold on, let's go and break the investment. What kind of nonsense is that? So our primary concern is paying for healthcare. All right. So yes, you can. By the time the pool gets very big, of course, we will have surpluses enough to be making all those kinds of investment. But right now, our investment income is nonsense. It's pittance compared to what it is that we're paying out as premiums.
Okay. So maybe the final question before I take your final word. Does your insurance cover mental health therapy or counseling sessions?
Yes, now they do. All right. Before we only used to cover psychiatry when you go to a hospital, but now we've also introduced a telemedicine service that we put in all our plans. So because people didn't like to go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whatever they call it, because who see me, they will think I've colluded and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So now we have a telemedicine service. It's very private. You can speak to the doctor, speak to the psychologist, all right, and then get counseling and support. And if you absolutely need to go in for a physical encounter, you can as well. But it's available now as a standard on all our plans.
Wow. Wow. It's so much, and what time is on. Let me take your final word. So, having said all of this, what will be your final thoughts to everybody that will listen and those who are on the call?
Okay, guys, look, all right, to be honest with you, completely honest, all right, if you love yourself and you love your neighbor, buy health insurance. I would love you to buy it from Hygia, all right, www.hygiahmo.com. But even if you don't buy from Hygia, buy. All of us are better off when everybody is covered, all right? Buy for your parents especially. They made a mistake by not putting this thing when they were younger. We don't have to make the same mistake. So buy for everybody that you know. Buy it as a gift, all right? You are only as safe as the healthiest person to you. All of us are literally one sickness away from death or from bankruptcy. All right. And we need to protect ourselves. And look, this is not something that you need to wait for someone to come from far. Today, you can reduce your risk by buying health insurance. And of course, if you really appreciate all this, why not just buy from Hygia?
Exactly. Exactly. Why not just buy from Hygia? I totally agree with you. Totally. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Somebody says this. Let me just look at it before I round off. In my opinion, and pardon me when I say this, the Nigerian economy is too volatile to invest people's health insurance funds. Nigeria to Canadian dollars was 323 years ago. Today, that rate is above 410. So true. So true. It just corroborated what you said. So someone said, we hope to have you back soon to sell us your products and services. Just go to the website, www. Can you say the site again?
It's www.hygiahmo.com. Remember, Hygia, when you think about it, is like you're trying to spell hygiene. All right?
Yes.
Hygia, HYGEIAHMO.com. That's
yes.
right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Obinnia. It's been so enlightening having you. Honestly, you've opened our eyes. And somebody rightly said, I'm sold already. I'm going to buy my insurance. And I'm trusting God that more people will get to know about it and get to buy it. I have been one person that said, I don't fall ill. Why should I go and put my money in IG, in any insurance for that matter? So I pay in 100,000 naira. I have not gone to the hospital this year. I probably am not planning to go. That 100,000 naira could have used it to buy something else, wear a nice dress, buy another wig, and feel good. But you have really explained it, and absolutely, I know that a lot of people on this call now are sold. Thank you so much, Obinnia, for coming on this show. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Wow, that was Obinnia Abajue, Hygia HMO CEO, on the call, and he had opened our eyes to so many things. I want to encourage everybody, please get yourself a health insurance. It's not being faithless, it's planning. It's actually a good strategy for you. And next week, Monday, we're talking about diets. Now, for those that asked to know about diets, just stay tuned. Next week, Monday, we'll be talking about diets. What's diets? How can I maintain my BMI? What do I need to do? What should I be eating at this age? What should I run away from at this age? That and many more coming your way next week, Monday, when we have a proven dietitian in the house. But until then, don't forget, if you can think it, you can be it, you can do it, and together we win. God bless you, every single person. Emeka, you want to be Naya back? Okay, I'm sure he's still backstage and he can hear you. I don't know if he's nodding, but well, he can hear you. Thank you so much, every single person, for being on this show. I truly appreciate you. Have a great week ahead. God bless you.